In our portfolio websites, we wanted to be able to embed a number of different types of artifacts. One type of artifact that we covered in other little tutorials is embedding document artifacts. And especially at WU, you have the opportunity to use Google Drive and Google Docs to create Word type documents, spreadsheets, and other types of documents. So let's say you have created a document within Google Drive in Google Docs, for example, and you want to host that, display that in your portfolio website. So we have our sample portfolio website here. Let's go ahead and open that up for editing here. And this is working within the Wix website creation tool that we've demoed earlier. Let's switch to another page. We've already embedded a document here using Calameo and hosted that PDF file on the Calameo web service. But let's go to another web page here, Standards. And again, we have to use the navigation up here to select the web page that we want to go to. We have an empty page here for Standards, perfect place to insert a document here. And again, to insert and embed, not just put a link, right? That's the alternatives we have here, is we can just put a link allowing somebody to click on a URL. We'll take them to, in this case, Google Drive page or Google Docs page to display. But we want to have the users not have to click out and go to other web services, websites. We want them to be able to view as many of the different artifacts within our own web pages. And again, the best way to do that is to embed the artifacts. Again, the way to do that, we always have to get the special HTML embed code in Wix again. We click Add over here. And remember, the HTML is buried under Apps for some strange reason. We'll click on Apps here, and we have the HTML app to add. And it's basically adding an HTML container. And you can see it gives us a box here that we can adjust. We'll close this down here. Let's move our HTML container over here, and then let's go ahead and resize it here to have the document be readable and visible. In fact, we can check the size of this by clicking in the middle of the container and clicking on Settings here. And at the bottom right, it should show us our size here. Actually, this is the original size. It's not even the current size we created. So let's make this something that's going to fill the screen, our web page screen, width-wise. And I played a little bit with this earlier and calculated it, and I believe 950 for the width will fill from side to side. And then if we use a height, it can be any kind of height depending on how much you want users to have to scroll. But let's try 700 here, and we'll click Update. You can see automatically it updated the size here at this point with our box. And we can just shift it around just a little bit. I'm using the cursor keys here to just reposition our container here for our HTML. So now let's click back on Settings here. And remember, in Wix, instead of the mode being website address where you just put a URL, we want to put our actual HTML embed code in here. So we're now already on our website. So let's go to Google Drive here. And let's find, we're now in Google Drive, and let's find the document that we want to use and be able to display. I have a couple of documents here that are available, a number of them that are Google documents, and you can tell by the icon that these are Google Doc documents, versus there's one with a W here. This was a Word document that I had indeed uploaded earlier. So let's go ahead and point to one of the Google Docs here, and actually this is a copy of my Word document saved as a Google Doc here. So let's go ahead and open that up for editing, because to get to the embed code, you have to open it up for editing here. And now within Google Docs, it's kind of buried as to where to find the embed code. You have to come to File, have to come down to Publish to the Web. And here you can see we have a URL. If we just wanted to put a URL, again, if we just place this URL on the web page, users would have to click it. It would bring them out to Google Docs to view it, which is not what we want. Here, however, is where the embed code is at. Go ahead and select it here. Just left-clicking on it will highlight it. Right-click on it and click Copy here. That's all we need out of Google Docs here. Let's go back to our website here where we're editing it and come back to our embed code box here. And let's go ahead and right-click and paste here. And now we can click Update here. But what you notice is, remember, we created a box so that our document would be large enough to fill the page. It's not. In fact, we have this tiny little window embedded in a lot larger container here. So to fix that, the only way I found to fix it, and there are probably possibly other ways, is in the HTML source code itself, we have to insert a couple of words, statements, to tell it the actual width and height of our embedded frame here. So the way to do that is to come within your embed code, and there's some keywords here that you have to add, and they're pretty straightforward. Width, W-I-D-T-H, equals, and then within double quotes, put your width and pixels, and this I calculated to be, and we want this to be something, remember our container is 950 pixels wide by 700 pixels high. We want to have the internal box showing the document to be slightly smaller than that. So I'm going to pick a width of, let's say, 950 here, and let's say 920, it's a little bit smaller here. I put double quotes around that, and then height, H-E-I-G-H-T, and that should be, again, something smaller than the height down here. We have a height of 700, so let's make this up here 670 in this case, and remember to put double quotes around it. So that's all you have to do is insert. This tells the embed code to create a box this size to fit within our slightly larger container. Now when I click update, now this width and height were applied to the small. Now we don't have this tiny little window showing our document here. So let's go ahead and save the changes we just made, and we want to go ahead and view them on our actual website. We need to do a publish here. Click on Publish button, click OK, and it's going to give us a link to our website here that we can open up here in a second. Here's the link here to our website. I'm going to click on that and open it up in a new tab here. So here's our website. Of course, it always brings us up to our home page here, but I believe we embedded this on the standards page. So we're going to click on standards here, and there's our Google document embedded in, and it's scrollable. So any viewer can come in and they can just scroll through the whole document and read it embedded within our website here. And it's plenty readable when you enlarge the width and height sufficiently like this to view it. That's all there is to embedding a Google Doc within your portfolio website.